o'clock. From the Olympics to the Paralympics, and the Kiwis doing pretty well in the Paralympics. Actually, lots of good things to celebrate, and I do love that about the Paralympics. Okay, it's not quite as big as the Olympics, of course, not as much coverage, not as much as many people watching, although apparently it is the third most watched sporting event. There's the Olympics, there's the World Cup, Football World Cup, FIFA, and then there's the Paralympics, so it's doing pretty well. Joining us on the program now, Aussie correspondent Craig Heilmann. Craig, g'day. Kia ora, thanks for joining us.
Kia ora, Andrew. Great to speak to you, mate. How are you?
I'm doing very well. The Aussies doing okay in the Paralympics, as far as you know? I mean,
I think we're doing okay. Yeah, I think so. Well, I know there's a wonderful young swimmer who's just broken another record. I think she broke 2 records in one day. But I know she just won it's called the S9 100-metre freestyle. I think it's S9's obviously the disability category. But, so she's broken a couple of records and won some gold medals. But I don't know overall. I must admit, I haven't followed her that closely to know overall how we're going. Hopefully we're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you are doing very well indeed, although several weeks after the Olympics, everyone's still talking ray gun. She may be the world's most famous Australian sports star. I'm not sure that's a great thing, Craig.
I find it astonishing, Andrew. She didn't get a point at the Olympics, but we're still talking about her. But no, she's come clean to the press in Australia to say, look, things were a bit rough after the Olympics, not just for her, but some of the people that watched her performance, I think, too. Yeah. But she's had a few struggles and had some mental health battles, and she's been getting some help for anxiety. I guess it's because of some of the social media feedback she got, my friend.
Exactly. Exactly. And look, this is a tough balance to get right, isn't it? Because, we don't want to be out and out bullies about this. It is difficult not to watch that and laugh out loud. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Ray Gunn. And there's been just a pile-on of hate on social media. And at the end of the day, you think, well, particularly as a person of faith, yeah, okay, maybe she wasn't up to an Olympic standard, but haters going to hate, and honestly, I think it should stop.
Yeah, look, I'm with you on that. It's just not 100% clear whether we were meant to take that performance seriously or not. I think that's one of the issues. And look, we'll never know, I guess. But she was there. She did her thing. She didn't score. And you're right. The haters probably time to knock the hate off.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, I suppose that's part of the deal, isn't it? If you're going to be on an Olympic stage, people are going to comment. You're going to be on social media. Not everybody's going to like you. There's no way you could predict what a storm was brewing on social media in response to that. But hey, at the end of the day, I think we need to move on. We need to find something else to focus on. And
I agree. Time to move on from this one. We will never see her again at the Olympics, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Or anywhere else, perhaps.
And wish her all the best for her academic career or whatever she does. That obscurity probably sounds pretty tempting about now, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, moving on from
anonymity.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on from all the gold that Australia's been winning at the Olympics and the Paralympics. Not much gold, it seems, in the coffers when it comes to the economy. Maybe setting some new records, not in the pool, but when it comes to inflation rates.
Yep, inflation's still too high. The Treasurer, Mr. Chalmers, Dr. Chalmers, is having a fight with the Reserve Bank in Australia. The Reserve Bank sets the interest rates. They're supposed to be independent of government. The government still meddles in what they're doing. And he's calling them out, saying, look, you're destroying Australia, you're destroying the country. They are replying by saying, actually, it's not us, it's you. You're overspending as a government. You're driving up inflation. We're trying to pull inflation down. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we're keeping the interest rates high. Actually, they're not that. Our rates in Australia are not that high by comparison, say, with the US or some other countries where you've been up over 5. We've still been sitting at about 4.35. So the Reserve Bank, I think, realised they couldn't go any further, even though I think they wanted to, because our inflation rate is still at 3.8%, and I think the US is at 2.6 or something. So anyway, that's the bun fight that's happening. What it's doing to regular Australians, though, is it's just making life harder and harder and harder in what is supposed to be the lucky country. We told ourselves this story, Andrew. We were the lucky country. We don't feel so lucky anymore.
Honestly, what is bad news for Australia might be good news for New Zealand, because, of course, if New Zealand's economy is doing slightly better than the Australian one, then that's better for trade. It's better for you pinching all of our nurses and policemen.
Right.
Hey, come on back, guys. All is forgiven. I think we may be doing better in inflation and interest rates on this side of the Tasman. But hey, actually, jokes aside, where this is really impacting is small businesses. Now, the government can always borrow more money, and some of the big multinationals have got pretty deep pockets. But if it's a small business just trying to break even and their interest rates keep going up and up, I imagine few of them going to the wall, Craig.
Yeah, there is. And also, you think about, small businesses are materially affected by Australian spending power. So if you can't afford to go to restaurants, you can't afford to eat out, you can't afford to go to the local shop, whatever, if you're having to cut corners just to do grocery shops or whatever, small business is the one hit hardest and hit first. So, for example, in Brisbane today, overnight, we discovered a chain of 6 restaurants gone bust.
Wow.
Gone in voluntary liquidation. That's happening all over the show. So small business being absolutely whammied in Australia. A combination, I think, of government regulation, which is killing them. People's spending power has disappeared. The economy's not going well. Our growth rate, if we took out immigration, we'd be negative. So we'd be in recession. That's the first recession in Australia in over 30 years, 3 decades. Wow. Yep. Australia's been in economic growth. So haven't seen this. We haven't seen this almost in a generation, that Australia's going backwards. And that's affecting people's spending power, and it's really hitting small businesses hard. And then you've got all the government red tape, which has been huge.
But hey, maybe you need a small controlled recession to take some of the heat off inflation rates. It does affect us here in New Zealand, of course. If Australians can't afford to go to a local restaurant, they're not going to be afford to go to Queenstown for their skiing holidays. So
that's true, mate. We are not coming to Queenstown this year. It's not happening. We can't even afford the ski boots.
Well, actually, hey, maybe that'll work to Australia's advantages, because all the Kiwis will be able to pop over to the GC and enjoy some slightly warmer weather as we head out of winter and into spring. Craig, always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks so much for joining us.
God bless, Andrew. Take care.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.